Okay, we're back. We're going to talk about the Final Four. And I always say this, thankful to David Mankey, and I asked Blaine earlier how long it took his grandpa to cover this, and he said it took him a long time to compile this book here. So I've looked through this thing, I don't know how many times, and I'm not trying to lay the past, but just some of the things. So it was 20 years. Did Coach Shear remind you it was 20 years?
87.
The last one?
Yeah.
So you guys go to Springfield, as I said earlier. They made a decision, Misha, to, I don't know why they didn't go to, at the time, Southwest Missouri State, but maybe they didn't want it either, but.
I think it was centrally located was part of it, I think.
Drury?
Yeah, right down there in Springfield. Because a lot of those teams are all from the South, at least in our group.
Oh.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to make it fair for everyone, everything should be in Columbia. It's equal.
Yeah.
It's like
Well,
volleyball.
that's true.
Volleyball is
Middle
being
of the
changed
state.
now to Northwest Missouri State, and it was like,
I think
if
they
you're in a
didn't play
Boot
it.
Hill, you're looking at a 4-hour drive.
That's a long drive.
To
They
go.
probably didn't play it at Southwest because they played in Haymansfield, which was owned by JQH or whatever, where the Springfield
Yeah.
Cardinals played.
Okay.
So I'd imagine there's conflict there.
So, did you guys leave? We're gonna build up there. Did you guys leave the day of the game, or did you guys leave? Do you remember if you left the day before, or did you have? Do they allow you guys to have practice, or you just show up and?
They showed up.
Showed up.
So you weren't familiar with the field at all. You just
No.
went out there and was like, you couldn't.
Good luck.
You're like, hey, we don't know how the ball's gonna carry them off this thing, or was it?
No, yeah,
Nope.
that was
Completely clueless,
They
yeah.
stepped on the field and took
left in the morning though.
our normal kind
Well, I
of
saw a
warm-up.
photo
That's
of
about it.
Jordan's book that you showed a bus, and I don't know if that was the bus leaving that morning or.
Yeah, the front of it is when us leaving, and then like the bus decorated, and kind of the send off of us going. But that was the day prior.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but I remember. I don't know if this was after we beat Valley Catholic or the day before, but I remember eating at Fuddruckers.
I don't even know if they even have those around.
I don't know if they're around, but
There's
that's.
one in
I
Columbus.
remember us having fun at Fuddruckers.
I don't remember any of that.
So you left the day before.
Yeah.
You said the day before you played.
I believe so. I don't remember driving all that way and then getting off. I mean, it doesn't make sense. I wouldn't want to do that to
Yeah.
ourselves.
No.
So I think that we went down the day prior.
So did you guys play? Do you remember? And it doesn't make any difference. I'm just doing the time thing. And if you see the little trophy there, hold that up just a little bit, Blaine. They had an opportunity to buy those, which is to me is really neat. Did you guys all get those?
Mhm.
Okay. And Blaine also swiped a
Stole the ball.
Stole the ball.
stole the
the
ball
game.
first place
Yeah.
game.
Made sure I grabbed that before the.
They didn't ask for the ball, or did you say I don't know where it went or what?
I think I grabbed that one off of the mound area afterwards.
Okay.
No.
So, you guys go to Spring Drury. Was the field really much bigger? I mean, were the stands? Is it an older complex? Do you remember? Or,
It was
Yeah,
older.
it's
Yeah.
so the stands were like right on you guys. Is that what?
They were pretty close.
Okay.
Yeah.
Was it was it filled up or
I know
being
our side-
smaller?
Our side
Yeah,
was
and
packed.
there's a lot
Yeah.
of Hayden people there.
There was a ton of
There was, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, which was probably bad if you guys would have had more as the school was out. So a lot of probably the school kids that would have went during the school time, it's probably more or less to get out of school than anything else.
Yeah,
So-
Yeah.
So-
I remember our side. I mean that whole section was full. There wasn't like there was any seats left over.
And the roof was tin, I remember.
Yeah,
because
they banging on the roof.
A lot of, especially like our friends who didn't
Yeah.
play and made the trip were pounding on the tin roof.
Like this.
So it was that close to where you could stand up and hit it.
If you're on the top row.
Even on the top row, yeah.
Okay.
I can't remember what they called it, but they had a name for
So before we get into this more,
Thunder something. I don't know.
when you guys get out there has to be kind of like we did all the. Maybe you don't think of it then, but at some point you're like, man, all the work we've done, this is why we're here. Maybe I don't know if Coach Shear ever said that or not, or you guys
Yeah.
when you analyze stuff more as you get older.
do.
Trust me,
Oh,
when you
yeah,
get in your
yeah.
50s, you analyze why the sun comes up at a certain angle. But it's I'm being silly, but that's
Yeah.
but there had to be a sense of joy, it's like, you know what, but you guys this is a year you guys were tremendous underdogs, and we're going to cover the
Oh, yeah.
teams you guys played.
Mhm.
So it basically says you guys were the weakest statistically, And you guys remember all the ones in there? You had Stoutland, Valley Catholic, and you remember the other team?
I just remember
Santa Fe.
we were gonna have to go
say
through.
that was who was.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the next year too.
So
Same lineup.
that's Stoutland came in with a 21-1 record, and they had 8 hitters batted over 300, and their pitcher had a combined ERA of 1.70. That is like, now again, they probably didn't play Southern Pacific, Owensville, being down.
Yeah.
Stoutland's kind of like the lake area, a little bit further
Yeah.
south. So they
Yeah.
probably played a lot of smaller schools there, and then.
Corey Kyle.
You had Valley Catholic, which is what now, 3A, 4A? I mean, they've gotten,
They were
Yeah,
They were
really good.
they were good.
they've been good forever and everything. So they had, where are we at here? Valley Catholic had a combined record of 27-2. How would they get so many?
That's a lot of games.
You know, that's one thing too. I know over the years I felt like we played less games in high school baseball. Like the seasons got shorter.
Yeah.
From like my freshman year to senior year, and I don't know if that's state designed or if that was just our scheduling. But
Do you think maybe they had more tournaments that they
I think
played
so.
They probably
I think so.
did. Yeah.
Because you guys only played in one, the Four Rivers Conference one, correct?
I mean,
they had-
thank God we didn't play more games because we didn't have enough pitching.
No,
to
we
play
didn't.
games,
Again,
but,
that's
yeah.
probably the reason why. Yeah.
So their pitchers had a ERA of less than 2 also, and the other one was Santa Fe, which was probably more comparable to you guys as far as statistics go. And then in Grandpa Mankey's book, he said, I hope our boys are not being too badly embarrassed. Someone must
I think
have
it was
said.
somebody else said that. Yeah,
Yeah, I'm not saying
Yeah.
him, someone else
yeah,
said
he
that.
told
so.
me that. And somebody said that in the stands afterwards. Or
So,
before the game.
The semifinals, did you guys play the first game or the second game that day? Do you remember?
I can't recall.
I don't remember.
So, Stoutland played Santa
I
Fe,
sat around for after the game. I can't remember.
I can't remember either.
and then where are we at here? He kind of jumps around a little bit, so I'm referring to the book. Valley Catholic scored 281 runs and only gave up
Valley
90.
Catholic was good.
In 91, they only gave up 91.
The thing I remember about Valley Catholic was
This is
so
sad,
so at least my mindset was because you don't know anything about these teams from Southern Missouri
Yeah.
and all over the place. My mindset was always they didn't play who we played, so you can throw the stats and statistics of the teams out the window because like if we played a Clopton or a small school,
Chamois.
we would destroy those
Yeah.
teams. We'd beat them 15-0 in 5 innings if we played those teams. So that was always my mindset. And then I think after the first couple innings down there at State against Valley, I was like, okay, never mind. These guys are every bit as good as Pacific and Sullivan in our own conference. Like, whenever I couldn't even throw a ball by them, like I was like, okay, these guys are really good.
There's a lot.
And
of
that was the stat I was trying to remember. Like,
I think I only had like 3 swinging strikes.
three's
in
the
that
number
whole
that
game.
I had in my head too. Like
Really?
they only swung and missed.
And I was
3
used
times.
to striking out 9
Yeah.
guys in a game, and you couldn't throw a ball by them. They were impressed. They were our junior year, 2007. They were the best team down there, without a doubt.
Really?
Without a doubt.
Yeah.
So they had a pitcher named Scott Jokerst.
Jokers. Yeah.
He was 11-1 with a 1.11 ERA.
And he was that good.
So,
Earned.
Yeah, he was that good.
so you guys played them first
Yes.
and scoreless until the top of the third, and Valley scored 4 runs to take the lead.
I don't remember that.
I don't either.
Yeah. Do you remember, were they just hitting the ball, or were there some errors, or did you walk anybody, or?
I remember they put the ball in play. That was their thing. They just put the ball in play with solid contact, almost up and down lineup.
Yeah.
There was just no weak at bats, and I don't remember them like blasting any balls like way out there or anything. It was just
Solid contact.
line drive over the infield. Solid contact, hard ground ball through the infield. Like they were just very, very sound hitting. We're used to playing. It's almost like all right-handed batters, and they were like set up like a major league team, righty lefty,
Really?
lefty.
Yeah.
Like they were really good, really good.
So then, you guys open it up in the bottom of the third. You guys scored 6 runs, but it doesn't have a lot of detail. So you guys remember anything? 6 runs on 3 hits, and they had 3 errors.
Yeah, they started kicking the ball around. I remember that.
In the outfield, infield?
I think 2 errors on the infield in that inning.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think. And I don't remember if the balls were hit hard or if they were just true boots. I don't remember.
I can't remember that either.
Was that where Waymar kind of started his run, where he would just put the ball in play and every time we get on base?
Well, I remember somebody capped one, literally swung out in front and capped one and spun a ball.
That was Waymar.
Was that Willimann?
Yeah.
Spun a ball out in the infield that just did crazy stuff, and that kind of sparked the inning because we got a base runner that way. Like literally hit one off the cap and just cued it out there.
Okay.
Wow.
So let's go through here. And then you guys scored a single run in the 4th to make it 7-4. Then Valley pecked away. Lead scored 1 run in each of the 5th and 6th innings. Going to the bottom of the 7th, Valley's leadoff hitter opened with a single. And then Craig Shovey threw him out. I don't know if you remember any of this.
I remember that, yeah.
Yeah.
And then the ground out ended the game and put the Shamrocks in the championship finals. And Shamrock winning pitcher Blaine Abbott had been in and out of trouble all game, it says. That was a typical Blaine
sounds
game. It's in the end, he's going to find a way to win. So you pitched, I guess you had no relief.
I mean, we had to throw.
Was your arm ever tired from throwing that much?
No, my arm was rubber back then. I could throw all day long. It never bothered me until I was 23 or 24. Then it came back. But, yeah.
Was there any doubt when you guys were down 4 runs? And again, it's been a long time ago to understand that. We're like, oh shit, we gotta do something here. I know baseball's
Yeah.
different than a lot of sports. You get momentum and
Yeah.
hitting's contagious. Obviously, you said you started with Brandon doing this at some
I mean,
point
Yeah,
doing
it didn't take
How many
much.
comeback wins did we have that year though against conference teams and such? I felt like we played from behind a lot.
Yeah, most of our close games were back and forth. Some of our bigger conference games, I feel
Yeah.
like there's a lot of back and forth.
And I think you said it well too. With like we weren't like an extreme hitting
No,
team. Like
no.
our core was like we played good defense, we had
Yeah.
good pitching, and we had timely hitting. So
we hit when we needed to hit.
I can't explain as to how we got the 6 run you said, or 4 runs.
Four
We had
runs.
4.
runs that we had in that inning. Yeah,
No,
I
6
can't-
runs.
It was-
6 runs on 3 hits.
Okay. Yeah, and I think that again goes to bit like there were some errors that they made, and
Yeah.
I think that's what we jumped on
I
top
feel
of.
like that's what we were good, like putting the ball in play and just putting pressure on the teams and making them.
We didn't strike out a lot
No.
as a team. We would put the ball in play a lot. We didn't strike out a lot.
Speak for yourself, but yeah.
Were you trying to hit home runs? Is that what
I mean, that was kind of my niche, but I didn't
That's-
strike out a ton, but I mean, I could have made.
He was the only player of size on our team, so that was kind of
That's
his
also true.
responsibility.
I mean, I did put one off the wall in
we
that
had-
game,
we had a
but
bunch of Blaine and Keaton and Austin Blocks out there on the field. Little guys. So
just doing Pete Rose style stuff, putting it in play?
I mean, if that tells you anything, I hit third. At
dropped down
130 pounds.
How many teams do you see drop down a sacrifice with their third hitter? Blaine did that in the state game.
If that tells you anything about how much power we didn't have on our lineup.
Yeah.
So the other semifinal game, Stoutland had rallied from behind to defeat. What Stoutland was supposed to be the second best probably team
Yeah,
down there. I
yeah.
mean, if you're looking at records wise,
Yeah.
they beat Santa Fe 8-7, and they were ranked number 1, and they got second the year before. So
3 years in a row.
Might have been. Didn't they get some stuff pulled from their state teams though? Weren't they bringing some kids
they were a
in?
little
11
recruiting
or
or something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there was something about that.
But again,
after
we
That's
won it
speculation.
outright.
That's
Outright.
speculation.
I can't remember.
really,
I remember reading.
They were recruiting or something.
Yeah, there was something after we graduated about that.
really
Mm-hmm.
did not hear that. But it said they averaged nearly 10 runs a game. The team batting average is 385, and they had 5 starters who were hitting over 400. Stoutland.
Sounds about right.
See, and I remember them as having really good pitching, but I don't remember them
Their
being
catcher.
Their catcher was
Their
a
catcher
stud
was a
hitter.
good hitter.
Their
That's
catcher
who-
played at
that's-
Missouri State.
Like, yeah, that's true.
That's who hit the ball that Aaron called.
And then Corey Kyle pitched against us, I believe. He pitched at, I believe, Jeffco when
Yeah,
I
he
was
was
playing. I saw him in college.
Threw a lot of
He
threw
was-
hard, but he threw a lot of spin too.
Yeah.
He was 5-0, and he had an incredible .77 ERA.
Yeah, he was
Sounds
good.
about right.
He only allowed 5 runs and struck out 76. That's Blaine Abbott type strikeout.
Oh no,
right?
I'd give up some. Oh yeah, see, I'd give up some runs. I'd put enough people on base. Eventually, they'd score.
Let's go. So Scott started that game. He had a record going into it of 6-2 and an ERA of 3.08 and 47 innings of pitching. Game was scoreless going into the third inning. You guys scored 2 runs thanks to 3 Stoutland errors and a single by Scott Sorey. And then the bottom of the inning, Stoutland got on board with 1 run after a hit and a Shamrock error. Who made that error? Do you remember?
Nope.
It doesn't say in the book, so apparently it wasn't a.
We were looking at the scoreboard, and we were kind of surprised that we had 5 errors in that game.
5 errors in that game. 10 errors total.
That's what the scoreboard, yeah.
Show that
About both
picture in front of the
teams.
camera.
I don't
Hold it
remember
up there.
You see it?
We're
Yeah.
gonna clean this game.
Did someone take that for you, or is that something your mom purchased? Or?
I got it in here somewhere too.
I don't know. I think you could have purchased it maybe because it had all this.
Oh,
jazz
you know what
on
it was?
I
Weren't
think
they
that was-
selling for every game? They'd sell the
Yeah.
scoreboard like
Yeah.
shot. I think that was another thing you could
You
purchase
could
like
get,
the audio tapes. You could purchase the scoreboard picture, and you
Yeah.
could purchase these or something. But
So do you,
What's that?
going back to this game, did you, because you played Valley before, and you all 3 agree Valley was a better team out of those 2?
I think so.
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
Top end talent, maybe Stoutland had a couple better.
They
players.
might have
had
had, yeah.
overall.
But overall, across the,
yeah. Valley,
Okay.
that whole team was just
Yeah.
really, really good.
Okay, the bottom of the inning, Stoutland got on board with a run after a hit. Okay, after failing to score in the top of the 4th, Shamrocks gave up the tying run at the bottom of the inning. New Haven regained the lead in the 5th, scoring 2 hits and an error.
I think that's when Blaine might have dropped down a sacrifice bunt.
I don't remember.
I think that was the end.
It's possible.
You guys actually knew how to read the signs from a coach. Every time Steinhoff did it with me, I don't remember what it
Oh,
was.
we relied heavily on.
We,
mean, I
we,
should-
had, we had
you
to bunt, steal bases. However we could score runs, we had to do it because we weren't hitting balls out of the ballpark.
So you're like Whitey Herzog ball back in '82,
A
huh?
little bit.
Yeah.
Manufactured before you guys were born. So anyway, this is the infamous catch. The tying run on base, Stoutland's catcher Brock Chaffin hit a long drive to right field. Outfielder Aaron Pyrick dashed back and made a spectacular over-the-shoulder lunging catch. Was this like Jimmy Edmonds style? Or no?
I think Aaron described it as, I don't know how I caught that ball.
Yeah.
So you were in center field just watching like,
No, I was trying to get there as fast as possible to corral it.
To congratulate him.
Yeah, that's right. To congratulate it. I'm gonna be honest. That was one of the most impressive athletic things I ever saw Aaron do in baseball, basketball, wherever.
That ball was smoked.
I'm not sure how that ended up in his glove, but it did.
And he'll say that himself. Like he just knew well enough. Like off the bat, he took off running straight back and looked up. There it was.
so did he catch it?
It was a.
I'm trying to visualize this. Did he catch it over his left arm, like
Like
the way?
this. One of these.
Okay, like that. Okay, I didn't know if it was like going towards the line, and he caught it that way, or
it
was
It
or
was
was
more,
this a straight hit?
it was directly at him, and I think he knew it was over his head, and I think that was his first instinct was, I'm not catching this ball, because he just turned and ran like this, not pinpoint the ball, and he got close enough to the fence that he kind of like turned around, and it was like right.
Was it
right
on
there.
the morning track? What do you-
Yeah, it was
Okay.
all the way out there.
Okay. So in the bottom of the 6th, with Stoutland trailing 3-2, they scored 2 unearned runs to take the lead. Coming up to bat in the 7th, you guys were down to the final 3 outs.
Yeah, I think where they tied it, I think Craig threw a ball to the 3rd. No, he threw it down to me at 2nd, and then like
Overthrew it.
short hopped me and went over me, and that's when they scored,
Really.
and that's what led to Craig coming up in the 7th.
So leading off,
Heroics.
you have the number 3 hitter, Blaine Abbott. On a 2-2 count, Abbott singles to right. And then you have Jordan coming up. Is hit by a pitch.
Shocker.
Wow.
Shocker there.
I must have crowded the
Jordan
plate. I don't
hit
feel
by
like
You got hit twice.
I got hit twice that game.
Yeah.
So did you move out at all, or did you like, I'm taking this one for the team?
If I remember correctly, I was down the count. I think I had 2 strikes on me.
It was 2-2.
And
Okay, so I knew at that point in time, like if it was in, I was gonna wear it. So, and that's exactly what happened. I didn't like lean in far, but I definitely didn't get out of the way.
So I watched this last night, and after he got hit, their coach came out and argued it for
That he didn't.
Oh, that you
Yeah.
didn't try to.
That he didn't try to get out
I
of
mean,
the way.
I did the old spin, but
was-
you can spin and make it look like you're doing something, but you're still in the stationary same
Yeah, he was-
spot. So like,
He was fired up. I don't remember that. but
Did it
yeah,
hurt? No.
what happened afterwards relieved all the pain.
Yeah.
So then Keaton Rohlfing comes up and lays down a perfect bunt and is thrown out at first while Abbott and Willimann advance. The next batter, Scott Sorey, grounds out to the pitcher for the second out. And then down to the last out, Craig Shovey comes to the plate. Took the first pitch for a ball, and then he hits a soft liner over the shortstop's head for a single. And then you score easily. Was it close at you at home, or it didn't?
I don't remember because the picture that I can't find the picture in here, but there's a picture of me sliding head first, and the catcher's just standing up,
That was
not
style points.
yeah. Well, and I had no clue. I just was running.
So
as
Blaine
hard as I
didn't.
could.
Blaine wasn't there saying like, "Hey,
I'm
you
sure
don't
he
need to
was,
slide," or
but I was going down. And
I don't remember it being like a play at the plate or
It
anything.
wasn't a play at the plate. I probably didn't need to slide, but I just slid because it just seemed. I mean, obviously it was
It's the
important.
winning run.
It was the winning run. I was like, I gotta score.
I feel like their left fielder was playing pretty deep, and if I remember correctly, Craig's ball wasn't
It
really hit.
Yeah, it was like a
not
flare.
hit hard.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So I think you were halfway down the line probably before he even got to the ball.
There was 2 outs, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was off on contact. So, but yeah, I do remember sliding and the catcher just standing there, not like there was a play at the plate.
Okay, so after getting ahead in the count, Scott hits the first Stoutland batter,
That's about
Sounds
right.
about right.
and then the next one pops out to first, which had been to you,
Mhm.
and then a ground ball results in a force out at second. You remember who got that?
That was me.
So, it went to you, and then you
I tossed it to Austin.
Okay.
Short.
With 2 outs, the runner first steals second, and then cleanup. This Brock Chaffin guy comes to the plate, and then it said
I think he walked.
he issues a walk. Was that intentional? Do you know, or did
I
you
think it was
guys-
kind of a pitch around. I
Yeah.
think. Yeah.
Like this guy is. I think he walked by 2 or 3 times.
Yeah, I think it was a pitch around.
So it was like pitching to Barry Bonds. You give him one good pitch the whole game. Is that how it was, or what?
Honestly, don't remember. I remember their catcher could hit.
Yeah.
And we didn't want to throw to him. That was the only one I remember.
And then he, on the first pitch, after he 2 men on base, the ball's popped up to Scott. Is that normally the thing the pitcher took it, or do you guys say get out of the way? Was he a pretty good fielder? Or-
Yeah.
Yeah. So
It was an in between ball between him and I because it was on the first base line, but
It was
both Blaine and Scott were it wasn't super high, but both Blaine and Scott were stud outfielders. So
he's
like
an outfielder.
it wasn't like a major league to where like the pitcher is not an athlete. You get like so like that was also a vote of confidence to where like I could hang back if it was like a squibber on the infield or something because I knew that they were athletic enough and defensively sound enough that they could make the play.
So you guys beat 2 teams with a combined record of 50-3. That is pretty damn impressive. If you just think about it now, it's pretty damn impressive.
It's a lot of wins.
So let's see here what else he says in here. Talks about his catch. Alex Weaver had several key hits. Coach Sheardis said it was a tremendous thrill, so he probably smiled or did something right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know
He smiles more than you think.
I like Jim. I've known him.
he smiles.
I do. I'm just giving him trouble because he's kind of stoic and he's kind of
he is.
he doesn't show a lot of emotion. So, and like you said, it was revenge lost the 2002 title game when they got second that year, and then Scott Sorey was first team All-State. Blaine Abbott was second team, and then Abbott, Jordan Willimann, and Aaron Pye were also academic All-State. So this is the year that Sullivan got second.
Oh, I thought that was good. So I had a year mixed up.
Sullivan got second. They lost 2-0 in Benton against Benton. So, would you? I mean, I know there's a parade usually here, but you know this time of year. By then, you're shit at end of May probably.
Yeah.
This would have been.
So this was
His
May
birthday.
31st. I
Yeah.
can tell you the exact because it was my 17th birthday. Great 17th birthday.
Nice birthday
Yeah, I mean,
present.
great birthday.
Yeah.
It's gonna be hard to beat that
forgot
birthday in
about
general.
that, yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm going to show this, and we can talk about it more, but I always show the photo of the state championship team. We talked about it earlier. And if you're a Shamrock fan and have never, Tim Mott said they still sell these at Pratt's maybe. I don't know if there's any still in circulation or not, but there's the photo. You guys look like you're kind of mad here. Did you get up too early that day or what?
I think that was just what we were supposed to do. We had to have the straight face.
The good old Jordan, he looks like he's in the Marine Corps getting ready to.
Hey, you look at the back. I'm
Scott
confusing 08 again.
Scott is smiling. He's the only one on the team
We
smiling.
see the numbers on the back of our head. Was that 07?
That shirt Scott would always wear.
Scott
Komodo
with a
dragon thing.
Komodo dragon shirt, and then Brandon would always, well, not just Brandon, like it became like the team song. Sammy Hagar.
Heavy metal.
Heavy metal.
Really? So
Was
did you guys
one of
have any
our
other little things you did before each game, or are you one of those pitchers you couldn't step on the line when you came off the field, or
No.
did you skip or anything, or
No. Throw enough pitches to get loose. That was pretty much it.
did you ever give people? No, I know your dad. He's pretty intense. Did you ever give people stare downs when you struck them out, or did you ever talk smack, or?
I'm not a very large guy, obviously. Not a big guy. That was my greatest joy. I like to play center field more than pitch, honestly.
Really?
But I could throw really hard. And so when I was pitching, that was one of the few times that I could, physically dominate, something. But outside of that, I'd much rather play center field.
Now, Jordan obviously said he couldn't throw with a dart, so he was stuck at first base.
Happily.
Keaton, I'm sure was happy. Did you play second your entire?
No, my freshman year I played left field.
Yeah. You mixed in some short.
Then Weaver had his shoulder issues, so he DH'd all through 07.
Okay.
So then I played second. And then after these guys graduated, I played shortstop my senior year.
Getting back to Blaine, did your dad ever try to, because he was a hell of a shortstop, did he ever try to get you to convert to an infield position, or?
I did not. I played second when we were younger. I would play some second and some third. They'd always wanted me to play third because when you're younger, getting somebody that can throw the ball, across the field, and they always wanted me to play third. I liked running balls down the outfield, so I just never wanted to play infield.
I think he kind of used that on me after you moved to the outfield. Then Brian was always with me on it, pushing me to be an infielder.
Favorite player was Ken Griffey Jr., so wanted to play. Hey. Griffey shirt.
Did you, I'm looking at this photo here, did you wear glasses when you played?
Junior year.
Did you ever think about getting Chris Sable style with the old goggles? Or? No.
Didn't Austin have like red contacts?
Yeah, Austin wore red contacts and like the glare.
They were like Nike,
He
or
did?
it was like help with like the seams.
They're supposed to help you see the ball like as it's coming in when you're hitting. He wore red contacts.
In every game?
And I'm pretty sure I remember it that way.
I'm surprised we didn't hear more about that from like other, especially like me being at like first base. Like people like, what's going on with this?
Yeah, I would have thought someone said, what's wrong with
nobody
his
ever
eye?
said anything.
Literally,
That's
that's
what
why
I don't know.
red.
Yeah, I wore glasses till the end of my junior year. Then I got contacts.
Okay. Well, this is 28 minutes. I'm leaving it up to you guys. You guys want to talk talk about 2008 a little bit, or?
Whatever you want to do.
No, it's your guys' time. You guys are coming here for me. I'm not, it's up to you guys. I can go through his book. I don't have the scores and stuff. We can go through some of the history if you want to do that. Take a break. I know you guys have said it was a letdown. At least Keaton said to him it was a better team in 2008, and maybe you guys agree or don't agree, or
We were a better team in 2008.
so let's take a break.
We were more talented.
Let's take a break and we'll go through 2008.